Good morning, children. Sai Ram. I welcome you all to the online class of economics. Children, today I am again going to start the same chapter, that is chapter number 1, and the name of our chapter is Economics and Economy. Children, this is the second video of this chapter, and in the previous videos we have finished up with some of the most important topics of this chapter. So we have covered up first the introduction part of economics. I mean, what is the economics all about? Thereafter, microeconomics and macroeconomics, positive economics and normative economics. So this was the topics we have finished up in the last video. Now today we are going to cover up the further topics of this chapter. Today we are going to learn what is an economy, a simple economy, and the organization of economic activities. I mean the type of economics. So children, let us start with the topic, what is an economy. Now let us start with the first topic, what is an economy. Children, an economy or an economic system is a way a nation makes economic choices about how the nation will use its resources to produce and distribute various goods and services. Children, the word economy is widely used concept in economics. It explains how it explains the nature and level of economic activities in that area. Economic activities includes production, consumption, investment, I mean the capital formation, exchange, etc. in that area. When we're talking about the definition of an economy is a system spread over a particular area that reveals the nature and level of economic activities in that area. It explains how the people of the concerned area earns their livelihood. Children, you all must be knowing people perform different economic activities to earn their livelihood. Like teachers going to the school, doctors are going to the hospital, farmers goes to their own field, and industrialists going to their industries. The nature and level of economic activities performed by these peoples of an area would reveal a system by which people of that area earns their living. So this system is called as economy. In a very simple language, in a very clear understanding, we can understand that an economy is a system by which people of an area earn their living. So that is why, children, economics is study because it enables us to understand different aspects of the economy. However, the main reasons for study of economics can be simplified to a single word: scarcity. We all know, children, human wants are more than the available resources. So there is a need to allocate these scarce resources for the satisfaction of never ending human wants. Therefore, economics is concerned with the selection of resources under condition of society, under condition of scarcity. Now, children, what is scarcity? Children, here I want to explain first the resources. What are the resources? Children, resources are also called the factors of production, as all these resources, all these things are used in producing goods and services. For example, land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, this are regarded as the factors of production because these are utmost necessary for producing any goods and services. Now, children, let us move to the next topic, that is scarcity. Now, children, what is scarcity? Children, scarcity refers to limitation of supply in relation to demand for a commodity. Children, moreover, scarcity refers to a situation when wants exceed the available resources. As a result, goods are not readily available and society does not have enough resources to satisfy all the wants of its people. That is why scarcity is universal. That is, every individual, organization, or even economy faces scarcity of resources. Now, scarcity of resources calls for economizing of resources. What is economizing of resources? Economizing of resources refers to making optimum uses of available resources. There is a need to economize as we have to satisfy unlimited human wants out of limited resources. For example, children, most underdeveloped nations have natural resources, but they do not have capital, skilled labor to develop them. Children, as I just explained in the previous slide, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship are the factors of production which is utmost necessary for producing any goods and services. If there is a lack of any factors of production, then it is definitely affected the production of various goods and services. That is why here in the example it is saying that a country has a lot of natural resources, but due to not having the proper availability of capital or the skilled labor, their production definitely affects. Now, children, let us move to the next topic. What is economic system? Children, an economic system is a mechanism which deals with the production, distribution, and consumption of various goods and services in a particular area and comprises of the people, institutions, and their relationship. It addresses to the problem like allocation or scarcity of resources. This I have already explained you in the definition of economy. Moreover, children, as we all know, human wants are very unlimited, but the means to satisfy this unlimited human wants are very limited. Therefore, all our wants, all our needs cannot be fulfilled. In order to maximize satisfaction, every consumer exercises choice as to which goods can be consumed and in what quantity. Therefore, an economic problem is basically a problem of choice. Now, what is again an economic problem? Children, economic problem in a very simple words we can understand it is a problem of choice involving satisfaction of unlimited wants out of limited resources having alternative uses. Children, this I have already explained you the reasons of economic problem. I mean, why do the economic problems arises? The economic problem arises just because of the three reasons. First, scarcity of resources. Second is unlimited human wants, and third is alternative uses. Scarcity of resources I have explained you. As I just said, resources, that is land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, are limited in relation to their demand, and economy cannot produce all what people wants. It is the basic reasons for existence of economic problem in an economies. Scarcity is universal and applies to all individual, organization, and countries. Therefore, there would have been no problem if resources were not scarce. Second reasons of economic problem is unlimited human wants. Children, you all must be knowing that uh, human wants are never ending. That is, they can never be fully satisfied. Once, if one need, if their one want is satisfied, then he is moving or is demanding up the next goods and services. As soon as if one want is satisfied, another new wants emerges. Wants of the people are unlimited and keep on multiplying and cannot be satisfied due to limited resources. Now, the third reason of economic problem is uh, alternative uses. Now, children, as I just said, resources are not only scarce, but they can also be put to various uses. Now, it makes a choice among resources more important. For example, petrol is used not only in vehicles but also for running heavy loaded machineries, generators, etc. As a result, children, economy has to make choice between the alternative uses of given resources. Just with this explanation, what we have understood that economics is a social science that studies and seeks to allocate scarce human and non-human resources among alternative uses in order to satisfy unlimited human wants and desire. Now, children, again, there is one question arises: what is the fundamental economic problem? Children, I have just explained you um, the fundamental reasons of economic problem. Why do the economic problems arises? Economic problems arises just because of the three reasons. The first one is scarcity of resources. Second is unlimited human wants, and third is alternative uses. I mean, wants have alternative uses. But there is obviously a fundamental problem. The first is scarcity, as we have unlimited wants and needs but limited resources. Now, why the resources are limited? Because the resources are limited because to satisfy the unlimited wants and the need of the people. Why choices? We make choices about how we spend our money, time, and energy so we can fulfill our needs and wants. What are needs and wants, children? Wants and needs, or needs and wants. Children, needs you can understand as stuff we must have to survive, generally food, shelter, and clothing. I mean, we these are the needs which has to be fulfilled at any cost. We need food, we need shelter, we need clothing for living. This is the utmost necessary for our survival. Whereas wants refers as the stuff we would really like to have, like fancy food, shelter, clothing, big screen TVs, jewelries, conveniences. These are also known as luxuries. These are called as wants, and the whereas food, shelter, clothing, these are called as needs. Now, children, the types of economic problems. There are three types of economic problems. The first one is capitalist economy, the second is socialist economy, the third is mixed economy. Now, let us move to the first kind of economy, that is capitalist economy. Now, children, what is capitalist economy? A capitalist economy is an economic system in which the production and distribution of commodity take place through the mechanism of free markets. Hence, it is also called as market economy or free trade economy. Children, a capitalist economy, or we can say as market economy, refers to those economy in which the economic activities are left to the free play of market forces. I mean, producers are free to produce those goods and services which gives him maximum profit, whereas consumers are free to consume those goods and services which gives them maximum satisfactions. And uh, and um as I just said, producers are free to produce those goods and services which is highly demanded into the market so that they can maximizes their profit, whereas consumers are free to buy those goods and services according to their taste and preferences in order to maximize their satisfaction. Children, one thing is very important to understand here is there is no interference of the government about what and how much to produce, what and how much to consume. That is why it is called as capitalist economy, it is called as free trade economy, and it is also called as market economy. Now, the features of a capitalist economy is a right to private property. The right to private property, in the sense, every producers or even customers are free, the consumers are free to take their own decisions. All these economic activities are left to the free play of market forces. I mean, there is no government intervention, there is no enforcement of anything. Second is this capitalist economy is basically for the profit motive. I mean, this all economic activities are being performed to maximize their own profit, to maximize their own satisfactions. Now, third is the freedom of choice. As I just said, all are free to take their own decisions, which gives him the maximum satisfaction. That is why it is also a features of the capitalist economy. The market forces, and there is the minimum role of the government. I mean, the role of the government is just to see or to maintain the law and order. Now we have some disadvantages of this capitalist economy. The first is inequalities. Now there is some kind of inequalities found in this capitalist economy, as this is purely dependent on their own wealth as well as their own satisfaction maximization. That is why it um, it remains as inequalities. More we can explain that no one is worried for the social welfare. Really everybody is really focusing on their own betterment. Leads to monopoly. If leads to monopoly in a sense, like producers are free to produce goods and services, so this is a kind of monopoly into the market. Like producers are going to produce only those goods and services which is highly demanded and which gives them the maximum profit. Whereas there are many sections also in the market, like for the poor sections also, the most of the producers are not going to produce for the poor sections, because the capacity and because the paying capacity of the poor will be low. Second is depressions, mechanism and automation, welfare ignored. I mean, in this kind of capitalist economy, the social welfare is obviously ignored. There is the excessive exploitations of the labor, because the laborers have to work more with the same pay scale. Second is the basic social needs ignored. I mean, the social or the moral values among the peoples, among the producers, the consumers will definitely ignored. So, Chilean, this kind of capitalist economy, we are obviously found in UK or the USA, where the degree of the control is very notional, I mean low, and it is called as free economies or the market economy. Chilean, in UK or USA, you are finding out the capitalist economy. Now let us learn the second category of economy, that is socialist economy. We call it centrally planned economy. Children, centrally planned economy are those economies in which economic activities are decided or dictated by the central authority or by the central government. A central authority can decide that how much of wheat and how much of rice are to be produced. Market economy is just a free economy, whereas central planned economy is not a free economy. Children, as I just said, all the means of productions are owned and operated by the state, I mean by the central authority. All the decisions regarding productions are taken by the central planning authority, and that is why it is called as planned and planned or command economy. The features of the socialist economy, the first one is social welfare motive. I mean, this economy is purely working for the social welfare. I mean, uh, Second is limited right to the private motive. In the socialist economy, it has given the limited right to the primitive or to the private motive. And third is the centrally planning. I mean, every planning, every decisions about what and how much to produce, what and how much to consume are basically divided by the central authority or by the government. Now, next, we are going to learn the advantages of socialist economy. The first is economic stability. In this socialist economy, the stability can be maintained. Second is maximization of the social welfare. I mean, when the government is taking all the when the government is deciding all the economic activities, then this can create a lot of social welfare for the people. I mean, the government will definitely decide it for the welfare of the society, regarding the prices or regarding the quality or regarding the different sections of the society, for the poor sections as well. Now, absence of the monopoly. Now here there is a kind of absence of the monopoly, because in this socialist economy, all the decisions or the economic activities are dictated by the central authority. Here there is no producers or the consumer can decide whatever they want to maximize themselves. All such things have been decided by the government itself. Basic needs are met. All The government is deciding all such economic activities so that the basic needs are to be fulfilled for every people. No extreme inequality. There is no inequality between the riches as well as the poor sections of the society. Government is equally producing for the richer sections also, or he is also take caring of the poor sections of the society. Now, children, next is the disadvantages of this socialist economy. The first one is bureaucratic expansions. No freedom. No freedom is now the producers do not have any freedom to produce for their own welfare. Government is giving them the instructions to produce various goods and services, whereas for the consumer, government has decided various goods and services their rate, so that the consumer can also avail various goods and services at very lucrative prices. Now there is no freedom for the producers or the consumers to act their own according. All such things have been decided by the government itself. There is an absence of technology. I mean, the absence of technology in the sense, like in the capitalist economy, when we are going to increase our profit, if the producers or the industrialists wants to increase their profit, then they can install the various machineries for their profit maximization. Now here, such kind of profit maximizations is ignored, and uh, for the productions of various goods and services, the laborers have been employed. Absence of competition. There is no absence of there is obviously the absence of competitions, because all such things have been done for the social welfare. There is no competition for the maximization of the profit or for the satisfaction. So in China, Russia, and North Korea, children, the degree of control is very high, and this country's economy will be known as the controlled economy or the centrally planned economy. Now, children, the next and the third variety of economy is the mixed economy. Children, a mixed economy is an economic system that incorporate aspects of more than one economic system. This usually means an economy that contains both private and state-owned enterprises, or that continue element of the capitalism and socialism. More countries fall in this category. For example, India, Poland, etc. Now, children, mixed economy is what mixed economy shared characteristics of both the market economy and centrally planned economy. In this economy, economic activities are generally left to the free play of market forces, but government exercises its control with the view to regulate way to regulate so that there is a balance between profit maximization on the one hand and social justice on the other hand. Features of the mixed economy is like resources are owned both by the government as well as the private industrial and individuals. Private and public sector exist side by side. All basic and heavy industries and other strategic sectors of an economy, for example, banking, transport, energy, etc., are controlled by the government. Agriculture, consumer goods, and other industries trades are left to the private sectors. So these are the features of the mixed economy. Now, children, the advantages of the mixed economy is a mixed economy may have less income inequality due to the role played by the government. And second is consumers are protected from consumptions of harmful products. Now, no other, the producers will not cheat with the consumers in terms of price, in terms of the quality. Now, the foundation of the mixed economy in India was laid with the industrial policy of 1948. Under this policy, children, some industries like arms and ammunition, atomic energy, railway transport, etc., were made to the monopoly of the state. Some more industries like iron and steel, aircraft, and shipping, building minerals, etc., were sought to be progressive owned by the state. Government control over the industrial sectors are also extended and extreme. This, as we have advantages, we do have disadvantages as well. Social and under mixed economy, private enterprises has to face a lot of difficulty because of the various government interference. Since welfare of the society is important in a mixed economy, it lead to lower than optimum use of resources because government mobilize the resources towards the production of those goods and services which are beneficial for the society as a whole, rather than producing those goods and services which in economy terms are more beneficial for an economy. So, in disadvantages of the market of the mixed economy, um naturally, where the degree of the control is moderate, neither very high nor very low, is an example of the mixed economy. For example, the economy of India or Poland. In India, children, we are obviously following the mixed economy, whereas the economic activities uh, characteristics of both market economy as well as the centrally planned economy. In this market economy, all the economic activities are generally left to the free play of market forces, whereas where the government exercises controls with a view of social justice as well as um, social justice. So, children, that's all for today. I hope today you are going to understand well the introduction of economy, the definitions of economy, thereafter the economic problem and the reason of economic problems arises, and we do have learned the various types of economies. We have understood first the capitalist economy, which we call as market economy, the centrally planned economy, which we call as socialist economy, and thereafter the mixed economy, which has both the characteristics of central economy, the socialist economy as well as the capitalist economy. So, children, that's all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you so much for watching. Sairam.